My cheating ex, 27F, is trying to get me, 28 meters, to be a father to her AP son, after he ghosted them. Okay, to cut a long story short, I meet my ex at a Moodle friend party. We got together. 6 months into the relationship she got pregnant and had my son Peter. When Peter was 1 year old, I caught her cheating with her friend. I found out later. They had been sleeping with each other on and off ever since we got together. I kicked her out. I was blindsided. Not going to lie, she had no remorse for what she did. I wanted to completely cut her off. But I had Peter to consider. Despite her being a cheater, she is a good mother. I'll give her that. And adored him. So for my son's sake, I reluctantly put away my pride and agreed to co-parent Peter. She moved in with AP. She then announced she was pregnant. I said good luck. She said there a possibility I could be the father as me and her were intimate during the time. She was cheating on me. Got the DNA test and I am not his father. It also got me worried about Peter. And I got him tested too. I was relieved that he is mine. Anyway, to the present, Peter is now 6. His brother Daniel is 5. I didn't really have any interaction with Daniel as ex hardly brung him with her when dropping off Peter. But the times he did come, he mostly stayed in the car. My ex dropped Peter off to me and she looked like she had been crying. Before I could ask if she was okay, she left. It was Peter who told me that Daniel daddy hadn't come home for a long time and his mother had been crying the whole time he's been at her place. This bothered me, because I didn't want my son around their dramas. I was going to talk to ex about this when she showed up to pick up my son. When she did, she had Daniel and he got out and ran to me and hugged my legs and said hi daddy. I was a bit taken aback. I just awkwardly patted his head and gently told him I'm not your daddy, sorry. He looked at me confused and said ex said you're my new daddy. I looked at my ex and she avoided looking at me. I told Peter to show Daniel his room. Ex didn't say anything. When they went into the house, I said what the hell are you telling that boy? She broke down crying and said her AP had ghosted them a month ago and she doesn't know where he is. Daniel had been asking where his dad is and so she told him that I'm his new dad now. I got angry and told her I'm not his dad. She said but I can be and that he needs a father. I told her to go find his real father then. She just kept crying and then got into her car and left without Daniel. I tried calling her, but she wouldn't answer. Daniel came out asking where she went, looking frightened. I told him she'd be back and he started crying. In desperation, I rang ex parents and they showed up to pick up Daniel. I explained what happened and they apologized. I was angry and called my sister and told her and she said, I mean, is it really that much of a problem that you be there for him? He is innocent in all this and he is Peter's brother. Just think about it. I hung up. Problem is I have been thinking about it and it's really messing with my head. I know he's innocent but it's not my job, is it? I'd prioritize full custody of my own kid before I took on another child. He's not your kid. Your ex is a total boss. Do not take on the emotional or financial responsibilities of a child that is not yours. Come on now. Use your thinking brain. If you take on even an ounce of responsibility for him, she can have legal grounds to say you agreed to care for both of them. Block out the noise and take care of your son. Her son is not your responsibility. Also, for anyone saying the kid is innocent in all of this, so are you. You did nothing to her. You didn't cheat. You weren't abusive. You didn't lie. She did. Stop letting people get in your head and focus on your son. And let her know that if she tries that again, there will be consequences. IDK what they'll be because I'm not you and IDK how far you take it. It is not your job. And your ex is being terribly cruel to Peter, Daniel and you by telling Daniel that. Tell your ex she needs a lawyer. And to get after the AP for child support. If you want to be kind, talk to a family therapist about the best way to talk about this with Peter, Daniel and your ex to make it clear that you are only Peter's daddy. Time to file for full custody of your son op. And do it before you get lumbered with his half-brother as your ex disappears off into the sunset. Wow, ex and sister are the wrong ones here. You also need to make sure she doesn't start messing with Peter's mind. That you will leave him like you left his one half-brother. It's not your job. This is not your child and not your responsibility. If you make a concession to your ex, she will sleep with someone again, have another child, and again shift responsibility for them onto you. You are only responsible for Peter. Once cheater, always cheater. Of course this is not your job or problem. What is wrong with her equals s well, heartbreak makes you mad, but still. There is a child in this. Your sister sounds lovely as she is thinking of the innocent child in this, but she is not thinking of you. You need to think of you. Be nice to him. He is just a child, but he is not your child. Your ex put you in a very awkward situation there, preying on your empathy, and it worked. You're a good person op, but think of you. Time for you to file for full custody. She just abandoned her other son at your place. You can in fact call the police in those situations. From what it sounds like, she'd continually take advantage of you. So there's no way to take in his brother even for specific moments without the drama. She's insane if she thinks she can tell her other son that you're his dad and have you be okay with that. That poor boy is going to have some serious problems. Jesus. No. Hell no. You calling his grandparents instead of the police is you being there for him more than you need to be already. If your custody agreement is legally in place, you should let your attorney know immediately about what she pulled. If it's an informal arrangement, it's time to put everything on paper. Regardless, you should have an appointment with a lawyer soon. Tell your sister that you will let Daniel's grandparents know that she has offered to care for Daniel. After all, she is as closely related to Daniel as you are. And Daniel, of course, really is innocent in all this. I suspect that she will be considerably less charitable once she is asked to do the heavy lifting. You actually did your ex a favor when you called her parents instead of CPS. I think that you probably did Daniel a favor as well. But it does leave the option for your ex to more easily take custody of him again. He is probably better off with the grandparents. You, on the other hand, need to pursue getting primary custody of Peter. This will be harder without the CPS report. But your ex-in-laws would probably just as soon not have 2 grandchildren dumped on them. So they might collaborate your story. And you made a major error at the beginning of your post. Your ex is not a good mother. How do you know she's going to stop popping out fatherless kids? Where are you going to draw the line? Friends had this happen to them. The 2 they had a lot of trauma. The baby mama called from the delivery room telling them to come pick up a 3rd one. Experiencing heroin withdrawal. Do you know how hard it was for them to say no? Don't start down that road. It's sad that your ex brought her children into her poor decisions. It's not your fault that her youngest's father is AWOL. It's terrible for Daniel, but it is not your fault or responsibility. Honestly, I'd see about getting primary custody of your son. It sounds like your ex has an unstable home situation. All the cards on the table here. If you take Daniel in on a regular basis, this innocent 5 years old starts to believe you are his safe place, and if your ex ends up dumping the kids on you, as in now, they are living with you, then her ex comes back and all heck goes wild, and this poor Daniel is the one who gets hurt. Your son will also then be angry at everyone. You need to play this carefully. Allow some time for the boys to be together, but state you are your son's dad, not Daniel's, in front of your ex. Make sure there are clear boundaries and always speak kindly about your ex and Daniel's dad. Just stay vague. Despite being a cheater, she's a good mother. No, she's not a good mother. I don't know any good mother that would manipulate a small child like that to tug on your heart strings and make you feel bad. She is emotionally manipulating her children. Not only are you right in making sure that this poor boy knows you are not his father, but I would also work on getting full custody from this person, or at least on having your child with you as much as you can, because who knows what else Cruella is going to tell your own child. This is all on her and her baby daddy. You have zero obligation to Daniel. I feel so bad for that kid. You handled the situation perfect. You were kind to your son's brother. He is an innocent child, but clearly and firmly communicated your boundaries with your ex. It's not your job or responsibility to co-parent both kids. Poor Daniel, but yeah, he ain't yours. Don't be a lifeboat for her. The moment you take on the fatherly role for the kid is the moment you will potentially be responsible for more kids down the road. And it gets especially messy if the real dad comes back into the picture.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.